Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. We're going to talk about bark today. Yes. Little buddy, do you like to bark? Little buddy likes to bark at squirrels. Is there a squirrel out there? Do you see one out there anywhere? I don't know. He likes to bark at the UPS truck. He likes to bark at the mail truck. So this is a topic that he likes too. So we're going to talk about growing your orchids in bark and bark media today. I've been growing in bark for longer than any other media that I grow my orchids in. I've been growing in bark media now for 15 years. I've had some really good experiences and some not good experiences that I thought I would just share with you all today. I found that orchids grow really well in quality orchid bark, and they bloom really well too. You're going to get a lot of growth with your orchids in really good quality orchid bark. So with all things in growing your orchids, it's really important for you to find the things that help you to grow and the things that are right for your environment. I had been growing in pure bark media that was all bark, nothing else, for like 14 years. And the problems that I kept having was that it would break down on me so quickly. The other thing that was going on is I couldn't find the right type of bark, what I would call a quality bark, and I would bring it home and it would either be the wrong size. I was either buying a large type of a bark, or I would buy a type of bark that I couldn't see the product inside the bag. And when I would get it home and inspect it, it would have insect larvae in it. Ooh. I highly suggest if you ever bring home a bag of bark, inspect it, and if there's any insect larvae in it, get rid of it immediately. It's usually the type that is already broken down and mushy. If you find a bag like that, you need to throw it away. But that kind of gave bark a bad name in my mind. I was having problems with it, so I thought that all of the bark was the same. And it's not. I found a bark mix that I really do enjoy growing in. I'm almost surprised to hear myself say that even. It is this mix right here. It's a bark and charcoal and perlite mixture. This works for me really, really well. It has about 4 parts of fir bark, 2 parts of charcoal, I would say, and about 1 part of this coarse perlite, about this size. I'm going to show you what this looks like compared to a quarter. Do you see how this is medium sized? Now, when you're getting bark that is larger than this, it's going to be okay to repot a vanda with, but not a phalaenopsis. Phalaenopsis, orchids, cattleyas, and dendrobiums need more of a medium-sized bark. Okay, so you're saying, how did I do it? How did I get that bark to fit in with my miniature phalaenopsis? What I did is I dug around at the bottom of the bag and got the smallest pieces. I took some of the larger pieces and I crushed them up. And that's what I used. So I have more of a fine bark for this miniature. This has been growing in this bark. When I got it, it wasn't all that large. This miniature has really grown a lot since I got it the middle of August. So we're going like 6 months in bark right now. And look at the roots. Even I am surprised by this. I hadn't lifted it out of the pot and actually just given it a really good look for a while. This is excellent, excellent root growth. What I like about this mix is the charcoal helps keep the bark clean. It also is going to absorb excess fertilizer, which is a big plus. And the perlite keeps it from compressing down too much. That was the problem that I was having with my 100% pure bark, it was just compressing down, and then it would turn to mush, and then it would turn acidic, and then the plant would suffer. So you can make your own mix like this. This is a really good mix. I've been very, very pleased with growing in this bark mix. And here's another example of a Phalaenopsis that I placed in this bark mix. Look at the root growth. This has been, I repotted this about 6 months ago at the same time. Look at the roots in this bark mix. It is amazing. It has grown substantially since I placed it in this bark mix. I went ahead and put it in a bigger pot because when I bought it, it was coming up out of the pot. How you know you need to repot an orchid is if it starts pushing itself up out of the pot, or when you pick it up, you notice that there's just roots that are coming out of the holes on the bottom. That's when you know you need to repot an orchid. It's just according to how much growth that you get. Okay, let's talk about water and fertilizing with your bark media. I water all of my bark media orchids about every 4 or 5 days. In the summer, it's going to be every 4 days. In the winter, it's going to be probably every 5 days. And I'm going to fertilize these about twice a month in the winter, very low dose. And in the summer, I usually fertilize them, I'd say 3 times a month. I give them a little bit of extra fertilizer. I don't give them a lot of fertilizer at one time. What happens is if you over-fertilize them, the bark media will break down and you'll need to repot them sooner. So I have found that my orchids do better at a low dose of feeding, and then I don't have to repot them all the time either. The one that I'm showing you here is my DTPS Brothers Red Caribe. She is getting ready to rebloom. This is a beautiful red bloom on this Phalaenopsis. This is the one that was the star of my show when I did Watch Me Repot My Gigantic Phal Orchid in Bark, August 31st. That repot took me a long time. This one had some huge roots. So if you want to see the type of bark that I buy and how I repotted this, you can watch those 2 videos on watching me repot this. It took a long time, and I recommend you just give yourself plenty of time when you're repotting in bark and just enjoy the repotting process. And here's one more shot of my beautiful white Phalaenopsis that I have nicknamed Einstein. She has been growing in bark for 11 years. And she has bloomed beautifully for me every year. So I hope you all are just having a wonderful day. Be highly favored, deeply loved, and greatly blessed. And we'll talk to you all next time.